Do you think that all religions are basically the same deep down?
What kinds of experiences have you had with Christians? For a lot of people, it's been bad enough for them to say no thank you to the religion of exclusive truth claims about Jesus Christ.
Do you consider yourself a Christian?
No, not anymore.
I do not identify with the label of Christianity.
I definitely grew up in a Christian culture.
I identify as an atheist, although my parents are Christian.
The way people are acting as Christians now, I just feel like I'm disappointed sometimes.
But is that really a good enough reason to say goodbye to Christianity? A lot of people have had really bad experiences at certain churches, or with certain denominations, or with certain world religions, or even just with certain Christians. Does that make what you're saying not true?
No, that doesn't mean that we, the bride of Christ, the church, always represent Christ in a way that we would stand by. We're sinful creatures. But I think that we tell people, look, I'm not calling you to my church. I'm not calling you to faith in me. I'm calling you to faith in Jesus Christ, my Savior, and I need Him as a Savior precisely because I do fall short. So don't let the admitted failures of imperfect people keep you from the perfect Savior.
Think of it like this. One morning, as your mailman is going to deliver your mail, you see him sloppily step through your flower bed without an ounce of concern for your carefully planted begonias. They're completely destroyed. You storm out there, get your mail, and while you stand amongst the ruins of your flower bed, you realize that your mailman has delivered $1 million check from a mystery donor. Now, what do? Would you rip up that check because of the mailman's gracelessness? Of course not. Even though you're angry at the destruction of your poor plants, you wouldn't reject the $1 million check in your hands. You'd take that check to the bank. Now, that's one response. Let's look at another. The core elements remain the same. You got a mailman, your precious begonias, and $1 million check from a mystery donor. But this time, angry from seeing your flowers get the boot, you conclude that the mystery donor must not be real. You chalk it up to a trick that the mean mailman pulled on you. Although your anger is rightfully placed, it leads to the wrong conclusion. The truth of the check and even the existence of the mystery donor are separate from the one who delivers it. And just like bad mailmen don't invalidate $1 million check, a bad Christian doesn't invalidate the truth of the message of the gospel.
Do you think that all religions are basically the same deep down?
Well, okay, so the Abrahamic religions, they're in their own little thing, and then the other religions, they all basically teach just to be a good person.
So yeah, you heard him sort of lump together the Abrahamic religions, Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, and say they're sort of all the same, but they are drastically different. And particularly, the most important watershed issue is the person of Jesus. Christianity obviously claims that Jesus is eternal God, second member of the Trinity. Judaism considers Jesus to be a false prophet, a mock messianic pretender, the one who overthrew the law of Moses. And Islam believes that Jesus is a prophet, somebody to be admired, but not God himself, just a witness to God and a prophet that's going to speak of the greater prophet Muhammad to come. But there is absolutely no greater difference between who is God and who is not God. That's an infinite difference because God is infinite, is an infinite being. And both Judaism and Islam, though in different forms, teach that Jesus is not the eternal God of Abraham. And Jesus himself is one who calls himself, he says, before Abraham was, I am, using the divine name, Yahweh. He is Abraham's God. And the second thing that I wanted to comment on what he said was that basically all religions teach the same thing, be a good person. But that is emphatically not what Christianity teaches. Those other religions say your good life, your being a good person, whatever threshold you cross, that's going to be the determiner of your salvation.
You might be saying, well, yeah, I'm not perfect, but I'm a pretty good person. And I know that's what most religions teach. Be good enough, and God will grant you access to heaven.
Christianity says the exact opposite. It says if you trust at all in your good works, in your being a good person to take you to heaven, you won't be there.
What's up, guys? Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed that. Next week, we got more content coming at you, so make sure you subscribe.